What is up, guys? Welcome back to Game Bird Classic. So 2020 hasn't exactly been the most exciting year for Nintendo fans, but 2021's a different story. A story where the Switch might be having one of its, if not the, best years in its lifespan. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Game Bird Classic. So it's no secret that Nintendo's 2020 lineup has been a bit lackluster, coupled with a drip feed of information through many partner showcase directs and some Twitter announcements without giving Nintendo fans a real full-fledged Nintendo Direct. Now, I'm not saying that it's been a bad year for Nintendo because that's simply not true. We've actually had some good games released throughout the year. But excluding three big releases, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Paper Mario The Origami King, and the upcoming Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, every other significant release has been a port or a remake, remaster, and re-release. Games like No More Heroes 1 and 2 that was dropped on the eShop, as well as the Xenoblade remake, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, all great games. We even got a Mario 3D All-Stars collection to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary, but they're all games we've played before. And as far as the Mario 3D All-Stars collection goes, that was a limited release and ports that weren't exactly feature-rich and had a lot of changes added to them. So as of right now, all that's left for the rest of the year is the Game Awards and what announcements might happen there, as well as maybe another Direct before the end of the year, maybe a December Direct. But even if those things happen, those games are surely coming in 2021 instead of this year. So the question is, what makes next year so special? Why is 2021 going to be a big year for the Switch? And, well, the answer is simple. A lot of really big games coming, as well as potentially newer and more powerful hardware. So first, let's start with the games. First up, on February 12th, we have Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. What a great way to start off the year. This was one of the best games on the Wii U, and personally my favorite multiplayer Mario game ever. The best part though is that this isn't just a simple port. It includes Bowser's Fury, which is a completely new content. The teaser for this game looked amazing, but we haven't gotten a lot of details on Bowser's Fury, something I'm sure we'll hear more about soon before the game's release. Also on the month of February, on the 26th, we have Bravely Default 2. Bravely Default is an amazing JRPG series from Square Enix. If you love traditional turn-based RPGs, do not sleep on this one. These games are great. The first two are on the 3DS, they're both fantastic, and I'm so excited to see a new entry for this series on the Nintendo Switch. It looks like they're adding a lot of really cool jobs that I can't wait to get my hands on. Next, on March 26th, we have a big one, and that is Monster Hunter Rise. The newest in the Monster Hunter series, and this one is a Switch exclusive. Monster Hunter Rise features a seamless open world with tons of verticality, giving the player new tools and new ways to explore the world. Like a new companion called a Palamute, which you can ride as a mount and doesn't drain stamina. This one is sure to be a smash hit and a big seller for the Switch, as the series was already really big in Japan and exploded in the West after Monster Hunter World. I think this is a good one to keep your eyes on. Now that's it for big games with set release dates for next year, but there's still a handful of other games that are confirmed for 2021. Games like Monster Hunter Stories, a JRPG style Monster Hunter game that looks really awesome. The first one was on the 3DS. I never got around to playing it, but I might definitely dip my toes in with this one. The trailer looked really cool. I like the art style a lot. It looks like a lot of fun and is obviously a lot more story driven than the other Monster Hunter games, as this one is an RPG. We also got Shin Megami Tensei 5. This is another series that I've never dipped my toes into, but it has a huge cult following. I'm a big fan of the Persona series, so Atlas gets a lot of points from me. This will probably be my first Shin Megami Tensei game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and try it out. I hear these games are really hard and really brutal, but hey, I'm up for the challenge. We also have the confirmation that No More Heroes 3, a series that I absolutely love, is coming out sometime next year. We recently got a full-fledged trailer for it showing off the gameplay for the first time, The first 2 games are on the Switch eShop now. They're so much fun, they're so stylish and really cool and really arcadey. Check them out if you've never played those, and keep No More Heroes 3 on your radar because that game is sure to be awesome. We also have the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC Fighter Pack number 2. They've announced 2 characters for this fighter pack. We got Min Min, and we recently got Steve from Minecraft, which was an awesome surprise. But there's 4 character slots left. That means we're probably going to get the rest of these characters by the end of next year. We might even get one announced by the end of this year. There's still time with the Game Awards, and possibly in December as well. But we definitely are probably going to get at least 3 characters for next year. Which characters are going to be, which fighters we're going to get is anyone's guess. Nintendo's been really throwing people for a loop with some of these character announcements, so I am definitely excited for that, as I'm sure all of you are as well. And now this is where things start to get really interesting, as we have some big games that have been announced. Games that are very likely to come out next year, or are guaranteed to come out next year, but just don't have release windows yet. Let's just start with the big one, and that is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's hard to think of a bigger and more hyped and more exciting announcement than the sequel to what is considered by many to be one of the greatest games of all time. This game was first announced at E3 of 2019 and had a gorgeous trailer that was dark and moody. This might actually be the darkest Zelda ever, darker than Majora's Mask. Now, we haven't seen the sequel to Breath of the Wild since 2019, but it's clear that the game was deep into development. And since it's using the same engine, the same physics, and a lot of the same assets as Breath of the Wild, the development time is going to be a lot faster than we normally have with Zelda games. But I wouldn't be surprised if we got our next look at the game next month at the Game Awards. Oh, and don't forget, next year is Zelda's 35th anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than with a brand new Zelda game? A sequel to one of the greatest Zelda games ever. We also can't rule out a Zelda collection or a Skyward Sword HD remake, and maybe even a Zelda-themed Switch with gold Joy-Cons. This is all speculation, but given the treatment that Mario got for its 35th, I wouldn't say it's outside the realm of possibility, especially since Breath of the Wild has gone on to sell more than Mario Odyssey, and the series is just blown up from that game. It's really broadened its audience, partially by the success of the Nintendo Switch. Another likely and exciting game for 2021 on the Switch is Bayonetta 3. Now, we first saw a tease for this game at the Game Awards about 3 years ago now, and we haven't seen anything since. But we know this game is well into development, and I'm sure it's close to being finished. I would not be surprised if this landed sometime next year, and this is definitely one that I can't wait to get my hands on. Bayonetta 1 and 2 are some of the best fast-paced action games out there right now. I think those games give Devil May Cry a run for their money, but that's just my opinion. Keep your eyes out for Bayonetta 3, because I think we're getting this one soon. We also have the highly anticipated Metroid Prime 4, and while I don't think we're getting that game next year, I think that's going to be a 2022 title. I do think we're going to get our very first look, whether it's a CG trailer or our first in-game look at the game. I'm sure that's going to happen, hopefully around E3 time, whatever E3 is next year. I have a feeling that's going to be an all-digital event. But we also know that next year is Metroid's anniversary, and where's that long-rumored Metroid Prime trilogy? What better way to get fans excited for Metroid Prime 4 than to release a remastered HD collection of the first 3 games, throw it on the eShop, or give us a physical edition? That would be so cool. And there's also potential to get maybe another 2D Metroid. Who knows? It could be Samus Returns, it could be a remake of one of the other 2D games. Anything is possible, but I think we'll be seeing something of Metroid next year, and that's really exciting. And last up for big games, there's probably going to be something good Pokemon-wise coming next year. I know there's been a lot of different rumors floating around as far as a Pokemon game goes. There was a rumored collection that went up for listing that may or may not have been debunked. I won't dive into the rumors or anything, but Pokemon finished up its DLC with Sword and Shield, and it's very likely that the Pokemon Company has something planned for next year, as I'm sure they want to get out a new Pokemon game. Excluding a little bit of that speculation, next year's looking pretty stacked. Those are all games that we either know about now or have known about for a while now. So what about all the surprises? Nintendo always has surprises, so we're looking to have a pretty stacked year next year, plus some announcements that we have no idea that's in the works. What's the Mario team doing? What have they been up to since they finished Odyssey? What about Mario Kart? Are we gonna get a Mario Kart 9 announcement? Will that be a 2022 thing? Who knows? I can only imagine that 2021 is going to be even better than I just said. We have 2 new consoles out now, the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox Series X. Nintendo needs to compete, and the best way they can do that is with games. This may have been a mellow year for them. They didn't want to have to compete over the holiday against 2 big, powerful consoles. Next year, they can just throw games. They're gonna be the best value console with the biggest library of exciting games to play, with the promise of really big games on the horizon. But now let's talk about hardware. We've got the base Switch, we've got the Switch Lite, but there's also the long-rumored Switch Pro, or whatever Nintendo plans to call it, if that's something that's happening. And I think it is. Rumors of a Switch Pro, a more powerful model, a more premium model, have been going on since before the Switch Lite was announced. And those rumors haven't slowed down or stopped since. We've gotten tons of information from credible inside sources that Nintendo does have plans for more powerful Switch hardware, and soon. I've done a number of videos on this topic, so I won't go into too much detail about rumors, but I'll say this, Nintendo has stated that the Switch is entering about halfway through its life cycle. That means we've got about 3.5 to 4 years maybe left of the Switch. And with the 2 big new consoles, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, Nintendo's gonna need to compete, as it's gonna become more and more difficult for third parties to put their games on the Switch. Unless those companies are planning to use cloud like they did with the game Control, and like they might be doing with the potentially leaked Resident Evil 3 remake on the Switch, but I think it's very likely that we're going to get a Switch Pro, and with big releases like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, it is a fantastic time to drop some powerful hardware. However, if we don't get a Switch Pro in 2021, then I'm gonna say it's not happening. It seems like kind of like a now or never in 2021, but we'll see. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Nintendo's lineup this year? And are you excited for 2021 and the potential of having this stacked year filled with juggernaut games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear about it. And let me know if you think the Switch Pro is coming and what you think that might be. This is GameBird Classic. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, helps me out. Smash that subscription button and smash that notification bell, and I'll see you all next time. Peace. What are you doing? I still have tons more videos that you need to check out right now. You can start with this one or this one. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.